Over the last 6 years, I would have counseled probably around 1,000 plus students and parents and help them figure out what they should do in the field of commerce. And now because we specialize in courses such as ACCA, CFA, and now CPA, CMA, the most common question that we've always gotten from parents and students alike is, why should we not do CA? Why should we do any of these other courses? So my honest and sincere answer to everybody listening is, if you're thinking of doing something in the field of finance and accounts in India, you should do CA. It is the #1 course in India and there is no two ways about it. Now, that being said, there are a lot of reasons why students and parents don't want to get into CA, and I'm going to list down the problems today in this video. And if you fall under these categories, any of these reasons why you don't want to pursue CA, it's absolutely fine. That's when the other options, besides the ACCAs and the CFAs and CPAs, even other options like MBA and all will become the first option for you. So with that being said, let me get into it. Point number 1, people should know by now that clearing CA in the first attempt will take around 4.5 to 5 years. Now that's really acceptable if you've just given your 12th. Number 1, if you are a little above your 12th, it stretches longer and longer. And second, the key here is that it's all in the first attempt. You know you need to be the best of the best to clear it in the first attempt. It's 100% possible, but you can take the average time span of CA to being something like 7 to 8 years. Many people are not okay with the upfront commitment that they have to make mentally, that they do nothing but study and clear these exams for 5, 6, 7 years on average. Because if you don't land up clearing it and you leave it midway, maybe in your 3rd or 4th year, it's a disaster, because CA unfortunately is one of those qualifications that either you're a CA or you're nothing. So you have to look at a long-term commitment. Many people are not okay with that. That's when they say, let's find other options. Reason number 2, the passing rate. The merit of clearing CA is that there is so much of respect and so much of credibility to your name, because we know how unbelievably difficult this course is. So if you do get through it, great. But there are so many people who have either dropped out or are still struggling after more and more years than they would care to give. That if you've seen me struggle like that and you know me, maybe I'm a little older than you would decide probably not to do CA because you just don't believe that you want to give yourself that kind of put yourself in that kind of situation where you may not clear it all in just 4 or 5 years. So the pass rates being unbelievably low, right? We all know it's in single digits. And the prime cause, guys, is not difficulty of the CA exams. It's the way the exam is structured. So the individual papers are actually manageable to clear by somebody average studying extremely hard. But because you have to give it in a group, clear 4 exams all at once, or if you don't clear, you've got to give all 4 again and then wait for half a year before you give the exam. That's the complication with CA. That's another reason why a lot of people drop out of CA. Another point is that if you want to pursue CA and then probably an MBA in the corporate world, probably makes sense for a lot of us. However, if you've seen, let's say, your uncle or your dad's friend who has his own CA firm, and for whatever reason you really feel that's a powerful life to live, right? The problem is that if your father does not have a CA firm to hand over to you and you think you're going to start it from scratch, it's a great option, but it's really hard. It's really difficult. And there are many other options which can give you similar rewards with less of a risk, less of an effort. So that's another reason that if your dad does not have a platform ready for you, you don't have something inherited to sort of run with, you don't have a bunch of clients already and a CA firm with a relatively successful brand name, to start from scratch, a lot of people don't want to get into that, and that's again a reason that they choose something else. Another point is that CA restricts you from going overseas. Now, this is actually not really true. It's only true if you're a fresher. So if you want to go to the UK or the US, right, then ACCA, CFA, CPA become really feasible options if you're up in your teens and you're just 18 years old. However, if you're a chartered accountant and you have 3, 5, 7, 8, 10 years of experience in good brands in India, like the Big Four, your ability to go overseas into different countries and start working in their accounting world, their finance world, is extremely possible. If you don't mind studying for CA, working in India for a few years and then looking at your chances of going overseas, CA makes sense. If you'd like to go as soon as you're done with your studies, then ACCA, CPA become better options for you. And the last point, this is more of a Zell personal point, which I feel that you can't, when you pursue other courses, when you're in your graduation or you just post-grad, you just started your first job, we have enough time in our lives to do other things, pick up other skill sets, pick up another mini qualification, or even just do nothing but just, enjoy your social life and take a break. CA, unfortunately, is a little restrictive in that manner. It requires so much of time and effort for almost the entirety of the period when you're about to clear, that it's either studying or it's working, that you don't have the time. And I don't just mean for enjoyment and entertainment, I also mean in terms of other skill sets. So, for example, I've had students as well as I personally, when I was studying, there were so many other things that I could do because I had more freedom of time, where I know my CA friends were really, they wanted to do the same things I was doing, whether it is something recreational or academic, but they couldn't because of whether it is the intensity of the classes, the vastness of the syllabus, or the structure of the CA course, which sometimes prevented them from doing the best. So if you're the kind who likes to multitask and probably have 2-3 balls, juggling in the air, then once again, people are deciding to take up these flexible courses, relatively more flexible courses than CA. So these are the few reasons that I know a lot of people reject CA. But if these things don't fit you, you are okay with all of these points, you don't have a problem with the time bit, and you have confidence in yourself to overcome the passing rate, and you don't want to go overseas, and you don't want to try and take up 2-3 additional skills besides any which way CA gives you so many from the academic and the work ex perspective. If you're okay with these things, 100%, if you're thinking, don't think, just start CA. And if you fall under the category of these, then reach out to us for any other comments. Put it in the comments if you missed anything else, and let us know if there's anything else we can help you with.